Welcome to PlayPianoToday.com. This video is a quick overview taken from Chapter 3 of the piano lesson series titled Phat Chord Voicings. Today we're going to be typical musicians. We're going to take everything we've learned in previous lessons and then go the opposite direction. What I mean is this. In previous versions of this series, we've learned how to open up chords, take notes and spread them out on the piano. Things that really tend to open the sound up and make it rich and expansive. But today we're going to take some of those same chords and instead of being opened up and spread out, we're going to crunch all the notes together. They're called crunch chords. It means all the notes are kind of squished down together. Listen to this now. Same chords, just crunched together. These crunch chords are especially effective when you're playing and you need to give something kind of an extra punch. Now, even though these squished together crunch chords are not as relaxing as the opened up chord voicings that we looked at in earlier chapters, like I said, they have a real specific use. They cut through a mix and they're really punchy. In fact, right off the bat in this lesson, I want to show you some crunch chords used in context. And we're going to play through a jazz piece this time. And you'll see a lot of the chords have the notes just squished together. And you'll see they have a real specific sound. They're fantastic. First, though, let me play you some crunch chords so you know what to listen for. All right, in the upcoming song, you're going to see lots of chords that have two notes right squished together somewhere in the chord. Look at the right hand. You'll see lots of chords like that in this upcoming song. Somewhere buried deep within the chord, there's two notes that are right next to each other, either a half step or a whole step apart. That's what makes these chords called crunch chords, because they're not open voicings. They're crunched together. Later in this lesson, we'll study the theory and look at exactly what these chords are. But at this point, just listen for those crunch chords. You'll also hear lots of open voicings, which harken back to Phat Chord Voicings 1 and Phat Chord Voicings 2, right? So listen for that. But this passage will show up a bunch. I want you to hear it in context. You also hear chords like this. So the right hand is really squishing things up a lot. Now we're going to do some interesting things for the left hand as well. Halfway through the song, listen for a piano solo that sounds like this. All right, what's the deal? I didn't play any crunch chords in the left hand, and I was hoping that you would notice that. Here's what I want to do with the left hand. At the end of this lesson, I want to show you how you might take a simple descending passage in your left hand, just like I showed you, and change it into crunch chords. And here's why. Once you learn how you can play things opened up or crunchy, all of a sudden you've got a different tool that you can throw out in the middle of solos or behind another, maybe a guitar player or something, and all of a sudden your music has different character. You can be more versatile on the keyboard, and that's my goal for you. So, you know what to look for. I'm going to play the whole song up to speed. It's a couple minutes long, and don't get overwhelmed with everything that's going on. Just look for those passages and those crunch chords in the right hand and that descending line in the left hand when there's a solo, and then we'll study everything in depth. Here's the full song.
I've been here waiting for time to give a little, just 1 minute. yesterday, come speak to me. Now I'm just waiting to see what you be bringing to me. Your words of life so pure and clean. And if there was ever one day I could hear you yesterday, come speak to me. Come speak to me.
All right, an awful lot of stuff just flew by. But now we're going to zero in on those crunch chords and see how they're built. We're going to explore how they differ from the open phat chord voicings that we've studied in earlier chapters. Let's dig into it. At the top of this lesson, I talked about the very first lesson in this series, Phat Chord Voicings, Chapter 1. It explored the minor 9 voicing in this nice, rich, opened up version. See how far these notes are apart? Here's the root, here's the 5th, here's the minor 3rd, here's the lowered 7th, and here's the 9th. Now I've got to throw out the plug here. If you don't know what I'm talking about, if all of a sudden you're saying, oh, why are you doing calculus? Then you need to go through Pattern Piano and Keyboard, as found at playpianotoday.com. In that course, you'll go through the very beginning foundations of music. And here's the twist from other courses. It'll teach you to play the piano by ear using the revolutionary technique of rhythmic patterns. It's real similar to how a guitar player learns to play quickly without having to read music, except it's for the keyboard. And hundreds of thousands of folks around the world have taken this technique and can now play any song on the piano or the keyboard by ear, completely free of sheet music. If you haven't done that yet, check it out. The course also goes through every conceivable kind of 7th chord, which we're going to be studying right now. So if you haven't got that under your belt, do that and then come back. All right, back to the calculus. The C minor 9 as a phat chord voicing opened up, but now we're going to change it into a crunch chord. And the great thing is there's a real specific technique, and it's really simple, to change things into crunch chords. Let me show you. If you opened up a musical theory textbook and you saw C minor 9, they would stack it from bottom to top like this. Root, minor 3rd, 5th, lower 7th, 9th. There it is, all stacked from bottom to top, nice and orderly. Your mother would be proud. Now to change it into a crunch chord, simply play the... This has just been a quick overview of some of the concepts found in Chapter 3 from Phat Chord Voicings. If you'd like to see more, come on over to playpianotoday.com. My name is David Sprunger. Thanks for watching. You know what to do. Go practice.